What's up, you guys? Looks a little dark in here, but maybe it's just that I'm not wearing makeup. It looks I feel like my face is blending into the environment. But I just wanted to check in. Last video, I talked about being in a rut and getting to a point where I'm like feeling like I'm out of survival mode or getting out of survival mode. And then whenever I come out of survival mode, or whenever I feel like I'm getting out of survival mode, the thing that greets me is like a wave of just depression and not feeling excited about anything, because ultimately being excited and being anxious are two sides of the same coin. So it's just an association. It's just whether your mind associates it with something positive or negative. So when you are constantly in a state of excitement, but your mind is associating it with negative because it's like survival excitement, it's like you're running from the bear, you're not excited because you're going to a party. And then you get out of that, instead of going into a state of pure bliss and calm, you often will go into a state of depression. Like, what's the point? Instead of anxiety and survival fear turning into everything is fine, everything is going to be okay, it turns into life is meaningless and there is no purpose to any of this. So I talked a little bit about that and how I'm in this phase of my life where I'm just trying to redefine everything, all these little subconscious, unconscious thoughts that are in my brain, that led me to this point where I'm the downside of coming out of my fight or flight is that I feel like there's no purpose to anything. So that's basically where I'm at, is examining that side of myself, talking about it with you guys, just meditating a lot on it for myself. Last night I had another wave of just like despair, like I couldn't fall asleep, or I slept and then I woke up and I was just crying. Didn't feel like there's any point in life. Like, what's the point? I just couldn't find meaning in life. I felt like I achieved the goals that I wanted to, like I was achieving the goal of getting out of fight or flight, which I wanted for so long. I still am praying every night, praying to get out of my fight or flight, to be a calm and relaxed person. But then now the new thing that pops up is that life is telling me, well, if you aren't in your fight or flight, then what you're going to get is this wave of depression and realizing that life is meaningless because you put so much meaning into your survival, which, not to gaslight myself, I put meaning into survival because that was the meaning. That was all I knew, was survival. I didn't enjoy a lot of my life, and a lot of times the people that I had in my life that I had to talk to about the things that made me scared or anxious were the opposite of helpful. They, the people that taught me messaging, my parents, for example. My parents are very stoic. They're not very, if they do talk about their feelings, it's only for the purpose of getting rid of the feelings. And I know a lot of people like this. In fact, I was surrounded by it in the community that I left. That was part of why I left the community, was because people were just not in touch with their emotions. And in fact, this is why you see a lot of health problems, because like we talk about this a lot on this channel, but if you are into any kind of like somatic healing or science, you'll know that our emotions are really connected to the way our body can release energy. And if our bodies don't have emotions are a gift. If you feel a certain way, your ability to talk about it, to release this energy, is vital to your long-term health. If you can't release energy through talking about stuff, through your emotions, through crying, through screaming, through laughing, your body's going to find some other way to release this energy. getting sick is a really good way to do that. But for a lot of people, their bodies can't even get sick because they're so weak over time. They're so chronically suppressed. They suppress their body's functions. Whether it's because they're in a constant state of like holding everything in, they go to work every day, all day. They have like, if you notice, a lot of people, like they've been working their whole life, and then one day they'll like stop working, and then they'll get sick, they'll get cancer, and they'll pass away. It's very common. Like I hear this story a lot. People whose bodies are in a constant state of being repressed, they're not even able to get sick. Your body doesn't get sick if it can't. If it's not even, doesn't have the time to get sick. That's why your body will wait oftentimes after you had a long period of work, and then now you have the weekend, your body will often wait until the weekend to get sick. Not everybody's like this. For a lot of people who are repressed enough, they're like this. Their body, you don't realize that you're repressed emotionally, or that you're repressing the sensations in your body. You don't realize that you're doing this. Nobody, if you realized you were doing it, you wouldn't do it. Most people that I know that I grew up with were like this. So just perpetually repressed people, emotionally repressed. They're repressing their thoughts, feelings, sensations in their body. And you can feel it in the way that just being around someone, you can feel it when someone is like really repressed. You can hear it in their voice. You can see it in their lifestyle. You can see it in their health. People that have a lot of chronic health issues tend to have been repressed a lot over time. Or in their heritage, there's been just a lot of repression, a lot of emotional avoidance. It's very common to see that. And it's really hard to even notice emotional avoidance or notice any of these things when everybody around you is doing it. If everybody is doing it, everybody in a family is emotionally avoidant, it's going to be really hard to notice that. It's just going to be really hard to pick it out because everybody's like that. And then if you are emotional in any way, then you're kind of the weirdo. I often felt like this in my family, but I also felt like this in my community. I felt like this everywhere. I felt like this, honestly, in most places. And this is part of why I needed to live in places where people were extremely wealthy, where people had a lot of time on their hands. Because usually those are the only people that have the time and capability to feel the things that they wanted to feel. The way I was, being a highly emotional person that was like and I wasn't even highly connected to all my feelings. I'm still very dissociated and very fragmented. But even me, like even having some kind of connection to those feelings made it impossible to live in the places that I was living in and around the people that I was around, because I just felt crazy. I felt crazy all the time. And nobody is talking about their deepest feelings, thoughts. Like, nobody's real. No one's authentic. Everyone's sort of like a shell of like a reflection of their environment. That's kind of how it felt. And so for me, getting out of places where people can't be their full self meant, first of all, avoiding the entire working class, which is most people. Most people are working class. Most people are working every day, all day. So for me, it was finding a way to get out of an environment where I have to be around even working class people in order to feel like safe to even feel a lot of these things, right? Because if you're working all day, you're 9 to 5, and you're at a restaurant. Like I used to work at a restaurant. I used to work at many restaurants as a waitress. You're wherever you're working, most likely, unless you're like a therapist or something, most likely the people around you are not talking about their feelings. You're not, there's no time. You have to work. You have to hustle, especially if you're in a very fast-paced kind of place like the United States, where like in order to just survive the bare minimum, you have to work 24/7. That's kind of how it is. In order to survive paycheck to paycheck, you have to work 24/7. So people are just, there's no time. And then over generations, this kind of conditioning means that it becomes a chronic thing in your body, like chronic suppression of feelings. People have any kind of sensation in their body, immediately they take an ibuprofen. I was just talking to my friend from the Netherlands. Apparently in the Netherlands, you don't take ibuprofen unless it's like really severe. Ibuprofen is seen as like a really serious medication in the Netherlands. My friend's mother and I think one of her sisters are nurses, and she said they don't take ibuprofen unless it's very serious. Anything like that suppresses the sensations in your body, you're supposed to feel pain. Like in America, because the lifestyle is so hectic and so overwhelming for the average human body, because it's so fast paced, in order to cope, to even just survive and function in the world, you can't be sitting there and feeling all those sensations and feelings. You can't be sitting there and feeling through the pain of whatever's happening in your arm, your bruises. You just can't feel the stuff. And not only that, people are overloaded. There tends to be a lot of inflammation in people's bodies, so even the little sensations and feelings overwhelms their bodies. It just overwhelms them, so they can't. And so they take ibuprofen for everything. I was taking ibuprofen for everything. Me and Andrew, we had a huge thing of ibuprofen that we would take around with us when we first started traveling, which was about 2.5 years ago. We first started traveling. We were just taking ibuprofen for everything. And on top of that, drinking. We were drinking a lot. I was taking a lot of gummies wherever we could, wherever it was available to us. You have to feel through your feelings and sensations in your body, your emotional feelings, your physical feelings. You have to feel through your feelings. You have to. That's the only way out. And I just see so many messaging for, it's usually Americans, but I just see so many messages, not to pin it all on Americans, a lot of society, a lot of cultures, everybody. It's a working class thing. It's usually, you see it in the poor societies where the messaging is swallow your feelings, put your head, because they have to be that way because they're poor. Yeah, swallow your feelings, put your head down. Swallow your but I mean, a lot of people keep this mentality even when they're wealthy. Swallow your feelings. That's why we watched a movie recently about a wealthy family that everyone in the family is drug addicts and alcoholics because they have no purpose. And they're bored and they don't have anything to do. They're really wealthy and everyone's just drinking all day. Instead of talking about their feelings, even though they have the time to talk about their feelings, but they still aren't talking about their feelings because whatever the culture, they're so addicted to their status. If they reveal to anybody that they're having any kind of difficulty in any way, it's going to be embarrassing or shameful, so they would rather kill themselves rather than to show their authentic self to another person or in front of another person. For me personally, I would rather not have any people in my life. If that's what it means, if having other people in your life means that you have to constantly feel in shame for who you are and the things that you feel in your body and in your mind and your emotions, then I would rather not have any people in my life. I already have cut off myself from anyone and anything, and I don't give explanations always. Sometimes I do. There's a lot of people that I just don't like to be around them. And they might know and they might not know why, but usually the reason why is because when I'm around those people, I don't feel my feelings don't feel safe to just express themselves. And you know what? After a period of time of doing that, you become not the person that you want to be. Maybe you become a more angry person, because anger is a sign of suppressed emotions. Anger is what happens when you have emotions that are very, very built up over time, chronic. So growing up, I used to have anger issues, but it wasn't like I was always angry. It was I would be like so chill, and then all of a sudden I would get angry about something. It would really take me by surprise. It would scare everybody in the room, make them think I was possessed, and it would make me blind. I would become blind while it was happening. So I would feel this intense rage. It would happen here in my head. My eyes would go blind. Like I would literally my eyes would be open and I would see black. That's how intense it was. It literally, physiologically took over my senses. And to everybody else, they just thought I was crazy. But it was anger, and that's what anger is. It's when you, and then in America, like, you have to, if you show any kind of signs of being too intensely emotional, your feelings are too intensely emotional, they'll put all kinds of labels on it. Oh, you have to see a psychiatrist, because in America, everything is all about the hustle, right? So like, even the culture is perpetuating this hustle of like, they're trying to make money for like the big pharma companies, or like for therapists or whatever. Like, there's always some kind of advertisement of either in the culture, embedded in the culture, or just like actual ads. It's either like subliminal or very overt, where they try to push a lot of like, there's something wrong with you for even feeling the things that you feel. You go get a prescription medication. And so a lot of this, like, this pathologizing of everybody's feelings all the time, it causes you to push it down even more. So you become even more suppressed and even more ashamed of all your feelings. And you just walk around feeling crazy, feeling like it's just a really terrible thing to have to live with. And it makes me feel better that I can come here and talk about it with you guys. This morning, someone commented on my channel. They commented on the last video that I posted about me feeling like I'm in a rut. And I don't know your name. Started with a D, but it literally made my day. Like, I was in such a despair last night. Andrew was trying to comfort me, and it actually helped. Like, I actually felt better, and then I fell back to sleep, and then all of a sudden a mosquito came and like kept biting me, and then like was buzzing in my ear, and then I woke up and I was itching, and then I was in a bad mood again, and I was like, when are we gonna get out of this jungle? Because I'm just so tired of Bali. And then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up this morning, and and last night as I fell asleep, I was praying for signs from the universe, just like signs from God. I was praying for signs that everything's going to be okay, because I literally just have what else can fix me at this point? What other purpose of life is there? And I got a few signs. And one of the signs was this beautiful comment that someone left on my video last time, which just kind of reminded me of why I'm even doing this. Why do I even make these videos? First of all, I enjoy it myself. I love to talk. And my ability to talk openly and freely on here is why I feel like I've healed so much, why I feel like I'm so in touch with myself in a way that, like, you know, for a lot of people, it helps to talk to a friend, talk to family members, go to a therapist. And actually, if I remember, I'm going to include 2 free weeks of therapy, BetterHelp, in the description for anybody that wants 2 free weeks of BetterHelp therapy. So it helps to talk to a therapist. Just because of the way that I grew up, my personal specific experiences, I have a really hard time feeling safe talking to people about the way I feel and my experiences and my thoughts and feelings. I just don't enjoy it. It feels unsafe. I feel unsafe to talk to other humans about it. So that's why I have this channel. But if you don't want to have a YouTube channel where you expose yourself, I can't finish this video because I'm late and someone called me, and then like I have to make it to the massage, but I will continue this in a second. Editor's note: I'm literally in bed while editing this video, so this is my editor's note. So I just want to continue where I left off, because I was literally just in the middle of talking, and then someone called, and then it like stopped the video, and then I realized that I was late. So I just want to continue what I was saying. There's so many ways to express yourself and release your feelings. There doesn't have to be one way. It doesn't have to be putting yourself publicly on the internet the way that I do. I love this, so this is how I do it. This is the way that feels the safest for me. I could do it with other people, but I always feel icky about it after. After, like, it just feels icky. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy sharing my deep, dark secrets with people. I enjoy sharing it with the internet, because with the internet, there's so many things. There's just so many things that go into why I enjoy sharing it in public on the internet. Not even in public to a person, but like in public just on the internet, like straight directly to the internet is like the way that I feel safe. And I understand that most people wouldn't understand this, so don't worry about that. Like, screw you if you care. But also, there has to be a way for you to release your feelings somehow. Maybe it's talking to another person. Maybe it's talking to a friend, therapist, whatever. Maybe it's talking to a tree. Maybe it's not even talking. Maybe it's screaming, singing. My friend recently was saying, like, you're always trying to explain yourself. You're always trying to explain yourself in your videos. Like, what if you stopped trying to explain yourself and all you did was sing and scream and like sing, like play your piano and sing like things that don't make sense. Like, it doesn't have to make sense. That's what it means to release your feelings. And it's going to make you a healthier person, and it's going to make you more powerful in every area of your life. Like, this is the key to becoming powerful in every area of your life. You need to release those feelings that are inside of you. You need to express yourself. And it's so underrated how much this will change you as a person. It will make you you're trying to start a business, you're trying to hustle, you're trying to make more money, you're trying to like accomplish anything in your life. It is underrated how much this will change your life. You start expressing your feelings. Start releasing your feelings in some way, shape, or form. Start doing it. And don't be ashamed of the way you feel. And you know what? When you start doing it, it's going to be really uncomfortable in the beginning. It's going to start off with you, it's going to start off with the angry blindness. Like what I was telling you when I was younger. Anger blind anger. That's what it's going to start off. It's going to start off blind anger. Then it's going to continue with less and less severe things. Then it's going to become more frequent. Like instead, so basically what is anger? It's repressed emotions. So if you notice, the people that have like really bad rage fits, like I've known people throughout my life that have like really intense rage fits. Have you ever noticed that those people are not perpetually angry people? Like they're not perpetually arrogant. They're not like very forceful people. Usually they are actually very nice and like very like subdued, and the anger comes out in a very sudden way. Usually it comes out and it's scary, especially when there's a contrast. So there's some people that are just blunt all the time, and they're just like saying whatever they think. They're just like themselves, and they're just like, yeah, screw you, screw you, screw you, screw you. They're just going around telling everybody to bug off. But you don't like really see a rage fit out of them. It would just be like a Tuesday. But then there's people that they have like intense rage fits. And you notice that it's an intense rage fit because there's a huge contrast between their normal everyday self. Their normal everyday self is repressed. And those people oftentimes tend to also maybe struggle in their business or in their job. Oftentimes they're busy taking it in the butt from someone else. They're busy doing things that they don't like. They're not being aligned in their life. They're not living their fullest potential. They're maybe in a relationship that they don't like, that they're not happy in. So it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. But once you start, first of all, accept what I'm telling you. Accept that the more you accept yourself, your feelings, learn to love and accept all of your feelings, including the really, really scary ones, the ones that you're scared of. all of your feelings, your whole self, learn to love it and accept it so fully. That is how you're going to get to your true self, whatever that is, your highest purpose in life, the real you that's going to accomplish all the things you want to accomplish in life, the best you in your relationships. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a really painful process, especially if you have become so dissociated that the version of you that is your nice version and the version of you that is your angry version is so separate. It's going to be a really painful process, because basically what's going to happen is that this part of you that you've been suppressing for so long is going to start like coming out more frequently, because you're going to be letting it off the leash. So it's going to be, and then you're going to be letting it off the leash, and you're going to tell it, I trust you to go out and do whatever you're going to do, and it's going to go and cause some trouble. That's what it's going to do. So that's why I would also recommend get yourself to a place in an environment that feels very safe to do that. Maybe try to spend away from everyone you know for a while. That's what I did. I just spend time away from everybody you know for a while. And for me, I don't really feel inherently ashamed of it, which is why I'm putting all this stuff on the internet, which is like I know deep down that if nobody existed, if nobody on the planet existed and it was just me, I would feel fine with my feelings, because I don't think that feelings are wrong. I just think that I just don't want to hurt anybody. So it would feel so easy for me to just feel, so that's why I share these things, because I have a gift, and that gift is that I actually don't think that my feelings are wrong. But most people, I think, do think that their feelings are wrong. They literally deep down think that their feelings are wrong. They think that people's feelings are wrong. They think people are good and bad, good and evil. They don't realize that you can become dissociated because you've been suppressing and shaming your feelings for so long. And then it becomes very scary and it looks evil, but that part of you is such an important part of you that you've been mistreating for so long. And that's why you're poor, that's why you're downtrodden, that's why you have health problems, that's why you're being mistreated in your life and your relationships and whatever it is. It's just why you're not getting what you want. So your way out is through your way to get all these things is to, first of all, love the little monster that exists inside of you. Once you can love that monster, let it rip. Let it off the leash. And first make sure that you feel safe to do that. Get yourself to a safe place. But you have to do it. That's if you can't get to a safe place, you have to do it anyway. It's kind of like your only choice. If you want to survive, you don't let it kill you slowly. For what? For an obligation that you think you have to other people? This is your obligation to other people. Your obligation to the world is to shine and be the best version of you. The version of you that's not going to have a crazy manic episode or a rage fit. You know what version of you is not going to have a crazy manic episode or a rage fit? The version of you that is fully connected with all your feelings and is fully validating and accepting of all your feelings. And that snaps back if anyone tells you something you don't like. And you know what? Maybe everybody will alienate you. It's going to be a really rough journey on the way there. But the outcome is going to be better than what you have right now. So anyways, that's just basically my little ramble. Everything is a process. We're all kind of on this journey. And the things that you think that you want in life right now, I want to be a calm person. There's always going to be a trade-off of some kind, but you have to be able to see through the trade-off, see what's on the other side of it. What do you get at the end of it? And learn to accept the process that comes with you getting those things that you want. Anyways, I'm sounding very vague, but thanks for watching this video, and keep watching because there's, I guess, more stuff that happened yesterday because this is the next day. So keep watching. Look at this person right here. Who's that?
It's a couple times, yeah.
It's a whole ass Mexican dinner. Far from Mexico. Looks so good. Indonesian Dave and Buster's. Media fun. So exciting.
I got a room full of your posters and your pictures, man. I like the shit you did with Ruckus too. That shit was fat. Anyways, I hope you get this, man. Hit me back. Just a chat. Truly yours. Your biggest fan.